Good morning. Appreciate y'all for tuning in and rocking with us for another edition of the Morning Breeze, man. Always rocking with you guys, as always, man. Outside of me, I got my guy, Mr. Media himself, George JC, in the building. It's a weird feeling. Almost feels like a Friday. Thanksgiving Day tomorrow, so everybody's off work. We got Bears football. Chicago Bears taking on the Detroit Lions. It may get ugly, but there may be an upside to it, because will this be Matt Eberflus's final game coaching the Chicago Bears? We'll talk about that, because this is a serious opportunity for the Bears to take a real look at what their next head coach may look like. Also, got to preview this game. Bears take on the Lions. It's going to be a tough game for the Chicago Bears. And, of course, 3 keys to a Chicago Bears victory. All that and more in today's episode of The Morning Breeze. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page, leave that 5-star review. Y'all know what to do. And by the way, I have it on good authority that Kyle Shanahan attempts to drown Penguins. I'm not saying, but I'm saying that I've heard this. 11/27/2024. Let's go. Yeah, hey, big vibes. We live. Oh God. Oh yeah. We cool. You know just how we do. I'm in the mood. You know I'm making moves. You know I'm taking through. Ooh, don't get me going on here, man. Y'all tap in with the new single yet? Have y'all listened to the new single yet, bro? Bro, if you ain't listened to the new single yet, after this, go tap in with the single, man. Greatest ever on all DSPs. We got more music coming y'all way. Me and Dan Tanner working on some bangers out here. Appreciate y'all for tuning in and showing love, man. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page, leave a 5-star review. Y'all know what to do.
Come on. Push the button. Come on. Push the button. Come on, push the button.
Yeah, come on, push the button.
You heard what she said.
Y'all heard what Sue Young said. Push the like button, man. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page. All right, let's get into the conversation at hand. Talked about this a couple of times this week, but the question is, will this be Matt Eberflus's final week as a Chicago Bears head coach? And you kind of got to look at the tea leaves. With where this team is at right now, it feels like Matt Eberflus has lost whatever it was that made him feel he was a successful coach, that made him feel like he was in control, had the reins, however you want to say it. It feels like that mojo is gone, and the team has lost it with him. When you also take a look at the fact that you've got multiple one-score games in the division that you have lost, while your quarterback has led you down the field on multiple game-winning drives. And most importantly, I think the Chicago Bears are looking to make changes within who they are. And there's one stigma they've already gotten off of their resume of we've never fired an offensive coordinator in season. And now they're looking to get another stigma, in my mind, off of their resume, something that you can't talk about ever again, right? You're breaking Caleb Williams is breaking records. He's got these things that we're no longer going to talk about, that the great Charlie O'Rourke, Chuck and Charlie O'Rourke here, the great Chuck and Charlie O'Rourke setting quarterback records. He's running down the field, down the sideline. Look at O'Rourke. Oh, he's throwing his 12th pass. We're 14 games into the season. There's a feeling around this team that they want to distance themselves from what they have been, which is mediocrity. But you got to follow through for there to be that belief there. What does following through look like? You've got a 10-day bye here coming up after the Lions game. This, to me, is the best opportunity that you are going to have to move on from Matt Eberflus. And that's it exactly there. Paulie G commenting in with the super chat. He said if they get blown out being 0-3 in the division on national TV, then I'd say yes. I don't even think it takes a blowout, Charlie. I don't even think it takes a blowout. Where this team is at right now, you have to answer questions. And I'll say this, you are getting answers. As a Bears fan, I feel like you have the answer at your quarterback position. You get this kid some blockers. You build up the trenches going into this next offseason. But I feel like you have some answers heading into this offseason with the players on the field. I feel like you have answers with your wide receiver position. I feel like, listen, you got question marks at the running back position. I don't care what anybody says. Y'all can like DeAndre Swift all you want. You got questions over there. Vel, what's good? He tapping in from the headquarters, man. Shout out to my boy. With a 10-day bye, you have an opportunity that no other team that's going to be looking at Thomas Brown is going to have. And if you're serious about changing who you are, you take that opportunity. There are 5 games left this season. And I'm not sitting here telling you that y'all know I've said this. I would still take a Vrabel over Thomas Brown right now. I would still take a Bill Belichick. I would still take I guess I wasn't enamored by Brian Flores when he was in Miami, but because he's got the experience, I would take a Brian Flores over a Thomas Brown right now. And the reason being, I've seen those guys be leaders. Now, Flores is at the very bottom of that list for me. But being a leader of men already is something that I see that they can do. But I believe that Thomas Brown does have that. Dare I say, it was for a second. Don't tell JC. When Thomas Brown was talking yesterday, I went, I do get a little Tomlin off of him. I feel a little Tomlin vibe off of him. Not that he is Mike Tomlin 2.0, not that they are, but it's not how he talks, it's the confidence that he goes up there with. Now, could that just be he's an offensive coordinator? He's in a no-lose situation because no matter what, he really is. He's in a no-lose situation. If Caleb Williams gets sacked 15 times, we go, oh, man, I mean, listen, Caleb's either holding on to the football too long or the offensive line is bad. Both can be true in this situation. Thomas Brown, you know, what are you going to do with that? But we're seeing him not call his scheme, not run his plays, although he is implementing some of his plays into the playbook. Caleb Williams mentioned that the other day. But not run his scheme, not call his plays, not have his players that he would have selected to be on this team. With a lame duck head coach who is a generational loser, go out there and run an offense that looks like it belongs in 2024. And all that we have heard about this man, all that we have heard about Thomas Brown, has been he understands how to get to the heart of the players. He understands how to get the most out of his team. He understands what his team needs in the right moment. He understands how to talk to his team. He understands how to relate to his team. And this is not just from the players inside the building. This is from people I've spoken to who are associated with the Rams. This is from people that I've spoken to around the NFL. This is who Thomas Brown is. If that is the case, why not give him a shot? I'm not saying that he deserves the shot of all shots, but you got 5 games left after this Lions game. 49ers, Vikings, Lions, Seahawks, Packers. Now, when we talk about what it would take for him to go out there and get that job and where you go into next season saying you have to bring him back, that's a different conversation in my mind. I don't think you can do something like go 3-2 and just be okay. But for the love of God, you got to see. You got to see if what everybody in the building is seeing is for real in the grand scheme of things, or is he just a really, really good coordinator? Because if he's just a good coordinator, I got good coordinators. I got great coordinators out there, realistically speaking. This is how I feel. Shout out to Bear. I think we've possibly fluked into a good head coach, which is hilarious coming off of flusing into a bad one. Hit that like button. Subscribe to the page, man. If you're in here listening, make sure you rock with us in that way. It just feels to me too perfect. And now, have the Bears messed up perfect? The Bears can mess up a wet dream. You know what I mean? Like, they're not a good team. Of course they can mess up perfect. Of course they can make the mistake and go, well, we're just going to ride it out to the end of the season with the same dude that has put us in the same position over and over again, that lost all 3 divisional games. And I would say this: don't be fooled by a dub. That's how important I think this time is. Don't be fooled by the coin finally flipping on the right side. If you see Matt Eberflus coach in the same manner that we've seen him coach the last couple of games, that we've seen him coach the last couple of seasons, but it just so happens that Caleb Williams goes out there and pulls a dub out of nowhere, a miracle one against all odds, one against the best team in the NFC, one against one of the teams that you have to like. Don't be fooled by it. There's no there's no Dan Campbell situation here. Again, I'm not telling you have to keep Thomas Brown for the long run, but why not take the opportunity to take a look? In my mind, this is Matt Eberflus's last game. And don't do what you did with Mark Trestman. Remember, with Mark Trestman, it was going to be they had a 50 burger put on him. I believe it was in Green Bay. They were going to fire him. The bye week was the next week, though. It gave him time to calm down. We're going to ride it out through the season. That's the decision we've made. Here we go. Then you got another 50 burger put on your head by the Packers. You have an opportunity that no other team in this division in this NFL, I should say, not in this division, that is looking for a new head coach has, and that's a chance to look at this guy with your team. You got answers on one. When you got the answer to the test after 3 years, I would hope that you finally get it right. Now let's figure out how to get answers on the other, at least some kind of a picture. I'm not saying you get the full picture, but some kind of a picture. Now, if we have that conversation, right, and hit that like button if you agree, subscribe to the page, leave a 5-star review. Y'all know what to do, man. Appreciate y'all rocking with your boy this morning. It's a football Friday morning. It's a football Wednesday, but we got Bears football tomorrow, man. We will be live, of course, for the watch party. Make sure to tap in with us on the watch party as well. Now, if we're being real, what would it take for Thomas Brown to be thrown in there at head coach? And we're having a conversation by the end of the season that this brother is now the future of the Chicago Bears. Unfortunately, once again, that's a tough position. Unfortunately, again, you're going to have to take another man's, for lack of a better word, trash situation and turn it into treasure. If you're going to have the conversation by the end of this season on Thomas Brown being the next head coach of the Chicago Bears, out of 5 games, you got to win 4. Because it's cool that he's calling an offense. It's cool that the offense is putting us in position to win games. That's something we haven't had before, but we're not winning them. So for you to be considered, in my mind, as that next head coaching guy, you got to take that next step. You got to be the guy that gets to that next level. That to me is the conversation we got to be having. Oh, by the way, for the next 5 means you're winning 2 of your 3 divisional games, something Matt Eberflus in all his time here has not done. Something that Matt Eberflus in all his time here hasn't done in a single season. You got the 49ers still on the schedule. That's a banged up 49ers team. Find a way to go into San Fran and get the dub there. You got the Vikings at home. You got the Lions in Chicago. I'm sorry, you got the Vikings on the road. You got the Lions at home. You got the Seahawks at home. And then you go up to Green Bay. You find a way to win one of those 2 games, Vikings or 49ers. You beat the Lions, you beat the Seahawks, you beat the Packers. Then I leave this season going, you might have your next head coach. You might have your answer that you've been looking for. You've been just short in Thomas Brown's time here. Right? Comes in, game versus the Packers, 2019, position to win the game. Boom, here we go, block field goal. Dang it. All right. Let's keep it going. Let's keep it going. We're all right. Let's keep it going. Boom, big comeback. End of the game, 27-27. Maybe don't tell Caleb go be Superman in that moment. I love the confidence, but we know what Caleb's Superman looks like. He tried to be Superman, didn't work. Defense is abysmal. They look out of it. They can't stop the run to save their lives. We're not bringing pressure, which is another reason, by the way, because I think here's the thing for me, right? And this is going to be ugly this week. And I mean, listen, I know it sounds crazy because the only reason to keep Flus is because of him as a DC. But I remember when Eric Washington was calling plays in the preseason, there was a lot of blitzing. There was a lot of pressure. There was a lot of send the house at times. At least there was a mix of it. I also want to see what Eric Washington looks like as a DC. I don't know if he's on the head coaching candidacy list coming into this season. I think he could be a good DC for you if you want to keep some continuity in the building and you just want to move on from the guy who's the guy that's here right now. Now, again, I would hope Thomas Brown gets to pick his guys, but to make things easier, to make that continuity and see what you have in the building already, why not look at Eric Washington and go, all right, let's make him the full DC. He's calling plays now. He already understands the language. He understands the lingo, running a similar system as well. We've seen him call plays as a DC. Let's see how he resonates with the players. You got an opportunity to do something no other team is going to have the chance to do. You just do. Are you going to take that opportunity? That's the question for the Bears. And if you do, what's it going to take for Thomas Brown to be the next head coach? Shout out to Go Blue for the super chat. Excuse me. To me, when you look at finishing out the season, if you can finally get the wins, because here's the thing, I got a coordinator already who I got question marks on, who can't get the wins, who's one score away, who's 5-19 in 2 seasons. That's 24 games. One score, 24 one-score games, and he's lost 19 of them. I got that guy already. So if you're out here and you get me close and you're like, yo, we had a competitive game versus the Niners, but we lost. We had a competitive game versus the Vikings, but we lost. But the offense looks better. We had a competitive game versus the Lions, but we lost. But the offense looks better. That don't do nothing for me. I can go get an offensive coordinator. It just doesn't. I'm not impressed by that. Jalen Johnson said it when he talked with 670 to score. This is a team that was built to win. And you're not doing that. And if we're talking about common sense, Thomas Brown seems like he's got a lot of that. How does that affect the rest of the team if you make him the interim head coach for the rest of the season? I think it does wonders for you. Hey, man, we appreciate you guys for tuning in and showing love, man. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page, leave a 5-star review. Y'all know what to do. We're going to keep this thing moving along, man. We do got to preview this game because, unfortunately, right, you're going up against the best team in the NFC. I guess you could say Philly maybe on that list. Maybe. Are we moving Philly to number 1 yet? They've dominating teams. But right now, the Detroit Lions are they're eviscerating teams, man. So we're going to break down this Bears-Lions game, kind of see how the Bears match up, where the Bears may have some advantages, where they probably don't. All that and more coming up. We're going to take a quick break, listening to a word from our sponsors. We'll be right back right after this. Appreciate you guys for tuning in and watching the show. Today's episode of the podcast is brought to you by Aura. Have you ever done a Google search on your own name? You'd be surprised what pops up. Your full name, email address, home address, health records, your relatives. It's all out there. And that's why I've been using Aura, the sponsor of today's video. Aura shows me which data brokers are selling my information and automatically submits opt-out requests just for me. Cleaning up my information not only helps reduce the amount of spam I get, but it protects me from hackers who could use that information to help them access my social media, bank accounts, and other sensitive information. It's really simple to set up. I don't have to download several apps or go to things like antivirus, VPN, password management, parental controls, identity theft, but you can get all of that in one place with Aura. I get everything at one affordable price as well. You may already have one or two of these tools, but not having Aura is like leaving the front door locked while leaving the back door and windows wide open. For you to be able to take advantage of Aura, we got a special deal for you here today. Stop data brokers from exposing your personal information. Go to my sponsor at https:/aura.com/the Windy City. Again, that is aura.com/the Windy City to get a 14-day free trial and see how much of your information is being sold. Welcome back. Appreciate y'all for tuning in and showing love, man. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page, leave a 5-star review. Y'all know what to do. Shout out to Tillavon Crit. Super chat. He said, your Superman comment is exactly what I was thinking. He told him to go be Superman before the end of regulation, but didn't reel him back in. Yeah. Caleb Williams' Superman ain't exactly what our Superman is. By the way, over 300 in the chat. Shout out to the chat in this mug. Hey, 300. There we go. All right, let's get into this Bears-Lions breakdown, man. It's not going to be pretty, boys. It's not going to be pretty. The Chicago Bears have a serious problem that only happens to be the Lions' greatest strength. The Bears have a absolute inability to stop the run. I don't know how you win this game. I don't think that you win this game. I don't think you have a shot to win this game, but can you keep this game competitive? That's the real question that, to me, the Bears may be able to do that. I do think that you can move the football on this Detroit Lions defense. Of course, they're dealing with some injury as well, and you are actually getting healthy at this time. Look at that injury report for week 13, huh? When's the last time we saw a Chicago Bears injury report that didn't just absolutely look like guys getting eviscerated or a CVS receipt? The fact that you're looking at only two guys being there, Elijah Hicks being DNP with that ankle, and Ryan Bates being limited, coming back off a concussion. You're getting healthy at the right time here this season. Remember, this is how they did it last season. That's why I said don't you go out there and give Thomas Brown the opportunity, or I'm sorry, Matt Eberflus the opportunity to try and string some wins together with this team. But, you know, the Lions dealing with some injuries as well. Carlton Davis III, one of the DBs, he's out with a knee and thumb. He did He did not practice. Taylor Decker is out with a knee. He did not practice. Khalif Raymond still out with a foot. He did not practice. Monty was limited with a shoulder. I guarantee you Monty will be out there. Amon-Ra limited as well. Terrion Arnold was a full participant. He's got a groin issue that he's been dealing with, though. We know how that can go. And then DJ Reader has been out with illness, but he was a full participant yesterday at practice. So dealing with some injuries, nothing crazy there, but I still think you can move the football down the field on this Lions team. They've been a little bit banged up. I think that this could be a game that is actually just like this Vikings game, right? Entertaining to watch. I think this could be a game where it goes back and forth. But what I don't believe is that this Chicago Bears defense is going to be able to stop anything that the Lions are able to do, because I don't think that Jared Goff is going to throw the football much. I don't think that Jared Goff is going to be. I said this on the Chicago Bears podcast yesterday. If Jared Goff throws the football 20 times, I'll be surprised. Because why would you throw the football versus this team? You've got the number one offensive line in the NFL right now. That is, if Taylor Decker is able to go. Like I said, that could be a blow for them. He is still a non-participant. That's their star left tackle that they've got out there. But you still got the number one offensive line in the NFL right now. The Bears defense hasn't been able to move anybody. You haven't been able to generate any pressure on the rush, on the quarterback, I should say. You haven't been able to stop the run. I was watching the tape from when Minnesota, who is a really, really good defensive line, went up against them. And I mean, listen, Monty and Jahmyr Gibbs just ran all over them. Now, on the flip side of that, your offensive line has been playing better. As I said, seems like guys are getting a little bit healthier. That is gone because Caleb Williams has been able to throw the ball. You can compete in this game, and I think that is something that I think that this Bears team offensively will be able to do. I don't expect this to be like many Bears fans have talked about, a 64-35 or to 15 blowout. I don't think that the Bears are going to get their heads kicked in. I do think we're going to be irritated with the defense all day, but I think you're going to be in a competitive match that ends in a 10-point loss. Maybe a 13-point loss, and it's a high scoring affair. You know what I mean? They pull away at the end. But this team is showing fight. This team is showing the competitiveness that we've wanted to see over the last couple of weeks, especially on the offensive side, mostly on the offensive side. And you're seeing Caleb Williams look like a quarterback who can do things that most quarterbacks can't. That's a feather in your cap. I think the Bears' game plan is try and keep this game as low scoring as possible, try and eat up as much clock, a lot of short yardage passes, a lot of dump offs, a lot of screen passes, a lot of stuff close to the offensive line. Maybe take a couple of deep shots down there, but just get that football out quick, because while the offensive line is playing better, like I said, they're up 4 spots. They were ranked 25th this week, coming in on 5th. They're ranked 21st, up 4 spots. Still not great. Still bottom third of the NFL. But, Braxton Jones, I thought, had his best game. I said this yesterday. He's got to be a key player. He's got to be one of those guys that you talk about as a key for a Chicago Bears victory. Tevin Jenkins playing fully through the game, playing healthy. I think that helps this Bears offensive line get the ball out. Caleb Williams, get the ball out. Coleman Shelton will be pushed back into your lap. Get the ball out. Braxton Jones will have a couple of times where he gets destroyed. Get the ball out. Darnell Wright will have a couple of times where he's in a spin cycle. Get the ball out. You have to play and continue to play the best kind of football that you've been playing. And the big time plays that Caleb Williams is making, they're consistent last couple of weeks. But is that enough to put you over the top? I don't think so. I just think on the other end, and here's the thing, where the problem comes in is, realistically speaking, the game plan this week could be sell out to stop the run. Like, if we're being honest, like, Flus could come in and he could say, guess what? They're not going to run for 200 yards on us. Everyone believes they're going to run for 200 yards on us. We're not going to let them. We're going to stop the run. We're going to stand in there. We're going to punch them in the mouth, and we're going to surprise the heck out of them. And Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery aren't going to move the football in this game. Oh, yeah, here we go. Boom. Okay, that's what I'm talking about, Flus. Yeah, that's what I want to see. And then Jared Goff just sails it right over your head. Why? Because he can play football too. This is the first game this season where I literally feel like the Chicago Bears have no advantage coming in. Like, listen, going into the Vikings game, I told y'all, I think the Vikings game will end up being close. I think I had the Vikings winning 24-21. Or maybe I said 27-24, whatever it was. But I said it's going to be a close game because they suck at playing the pass. Caleb's been wanting to throw the football. I knew that could be a close game. I said that the Packers and the Bears would be a close game because I knew that Jordan Love would turn the football over. You have no advantage versus this team. The thing they do best, you suck at. The thing they do second best, you've fallen off at. This used to be a team where when you talked about them passing the football, you weren't giving up 60-yard plays. Now I've seen it in back-to-back weeks. This wasn't a team that went out there and gave up the bombs, the long yardage. Heck, they weren't even getting big plays on Jalen Johnson. Now we've seen it in back-to-back weeks. That's the thing you did second best. This Lions team is on a mission, and dare I say, the flip is insane. The flip is insane. Remember how we used to say Lion's gonna lion? Now we got to say Bear's gonna bear. Because that's all we've seen out of this team. Even if you're in a position where you feel like you've got to win, you don't. And again, I think that goes back to the head coach. I think that goes back to the utilization of your team, making the right call at the right time, not shooting your team in the foot in the fourth quarter when you send them out there and go, hey, this guy is absolutely the answer that we have at head coach. Oh, he's dead. Maybe he's doing some things right. Here we go. Up, he's dead. Maybe he's got it figured out. Here we go. Up, he's dead. Yeah, never mind. You have become what the Detroit Lions were, and it's hilarious that you're playing them on Thanksgiving as they're going on their way to possibly make a Super Bowl run. Let's finish it out with this. Let me give you some quick keys. Key number 1. Establish a quick run. Or I said that backwards. Establish the run quick. Dare I say what I've seen out of Braxton Jones over the last couple of weeks in the run game has been impressive. Utilize that. Utilize that on that left side. It's where he's best suited. I think that that's a way that you open things up for Caleb Williams to be able to make those naked boots, to be able to make those rollout passes, all of those things. Open up the play action. You have to, which means DeAndre Swift, you have to not be a useless piece of tissue this week. You have to go out there and be a running back. I know that's a wild concept. But you have to go out there and actually get the football handed off to you and then run it. And that's something we haven't seen him do consistently. Everybody tells me, oh, well, he's not that kind of running back. He's not more of a runner. He's more of a pass catching running back. What? I got 3 wide receivers for that. I got Keenan Allen. I got Rome Odunze. And it's not to say don't use them in the short yard game, but I need a running back. I need someone to establish the run. Key number 2. Caleb Williams, you got to be getting that football out quick. Detroit's going to come after you. They're going to pressure you, especially in the pass game. It could get ugly. They've still got some dogs on that defensive line, even without Aiden Hutchinson being out there. They're going to get some pressure on you. Braxton Jones is going to get beat a couple of times. Get that football out quick. Be smart. Be to the point. Thomas Brown is going to set you up. And when the opportunities are there to take the deep shots, you got to hit them. You did a good job of it technically in that game, right? And I know everybody remembers he missed 2 deep passes to Rome. The pass to DJ Moore was a deep pass. The pass that puts you in a position to tie the game up to go to overtime, that's a deep pass. That's a pass that most guys don't make. Be efficient. Get the ball out quick. That's the quarterback play that has led you to success in every game that you've been good in this season. We can't change that up now. I'm sorry. You're not going to have the deep shots versus the Lions. And my third key to a Chicago Bears victory, if it's going to happen, Flus, you gotta bring more than 4. You gotta bring more than 4. He's rushing 4 like we're getting pressure with 4. You know what I mean? Like he's rushing 4 like, yeah, no, 4's getting home. 4 ain't getting home. You got to bring pressure this week. You've got to blitz. You've got the things that you had to do last season when all of a sudden the season turned in your favor. Because at least if you get more bodies on the line than they can handle, you can find ways to attack not only just the pass game, but also the run game. Now, is that going to hurt you in some aspects? Yeah. You're going to have to cover more. Your DBs are going to have to cover more, which I don't know if we haven't talked about this much, but this game is going to be very interesting because are they done with Tyreek Stevenson? Like, did anybody notice last week that Tyreek Stevenson basically just wasn't on the field in like the most important moment for the Chicago Bears in that game? Feels like they might be done with Tyreek Stevenson. Feels like they might be that Hail Mary where he's stunting on the sidelines might have broke him a little bit. Which is crazy, man. I think that kid has all the talent in the world, but like you got to be able to have that talent in the moments when the moment is brightest. You got to be able to have that talent in the moment that they need you most. And he didn't. And he killed you. But those are my predictions, man. Those are my keys. I do think the Bears take an L in this game, as I'm sure most Bears fans do. This is the best team. This is the class of the NFC. Now, could you say this is a trap game? Could you say that this is a game where, you know, the Bears find a way to go out there and play the Lions well like they always do? Yeah, you can. I'm not saying that that's not possible. I'm not saying that the Bears have zero chance to win. But I do believe that you have a team that you have no advantages against. According to PFF, they're the second best offense in the NFL. They're the second best defense in the NFL. They're tied for the second best special teams in the NFL. They're second in points scored, 360. They're second in points allowed, 183 in the entire NFL. And they grade out talent-wise as the best team in the league. It's not a good spot to be in. But hey, man, appreciate you guys for tuning in and showing love. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page, leave a 5-star review. Y'all know what to do. Appreciate y'all for rocking with us as always. We'll be back live again today at 6, I believe. So tune in with us then as well as we talk more Bears football. Maybe even get some Bulls in there. Midas Buzelis looking like a dog. Hold on. We might have something here in Chicago, ladies and gentlemen. Also, a lot of rumors flying around the name Zach LaVine and Nikola Vucevic right now. So some changes may be coming the Chicago Bulls way. Talk about all that and more tonight. Make sure you stay tapped in with us, man. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page. Leave a 5-star review. Y'all know what to do. It's your boy, Pat the Designer, back at it again, man. Y'all stay safe out there, Chicago. Bear down. One love. Peace.
Red Nation, are we here? The best show for Chicago sports.